rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events, this is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I am your host, Rick. Well, we've had some things happen today. A lot of stuff. I'm going to try and get to as much of it as I possibly can. But the biggest news, obviously, is, the biggest news for everybody who has been watching and hoping for justice, obviously, is Carmelo Anthony has been found guilty. The jury apparently did not even bother remotely, supposedly entertaining his thought of self-defense. So he is going to go to jail. There, some of my Whiskey Warrior P1s are on punishment phase watch. Anyway, we also, unfortunately, have found out that the killer of Irina, and I can't remember how to pronounce her last name, but the young woman who was killed, brutally knifed on the train in Charlottesville. I think it was Charlottesville. Anyway, she is, her killer has been determined that he cannot stand trial because of his mental capacity. And the biggest question you have to ask yourself on that one in Charlotte, North Carolina, not Charlottesville, but Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you. The biggest question you have to ask yourself is, if he's too crazy to stand trial, then how in the hell was he out in the first place? I'm telling you, we need to bring back mental institutions once again. We need to bring them back. And I'm talking like mainstream, publicly funded mental institutions and drop, well, pretty much probably half of the Democrat Party into them. Anyway, yeah, I know that was a bit of a joke, but not really. All right. So, Amy asks a good question. He says, so does that mean Looney bid until he is judged triable? Pretty much. He essentially goes for treatment, and if the treatment is successful, then he will be put on trial for murder, because obviously murder has no statute of limitations. And so even if it takes 20 or 30 or 40 years for him to come back into the sane world, he will not, he will basically, once he is found fit to stand trial, he will stand trial regardless. So there you go. And, anyway, all right. Well, let's, there's a couple other things that have been going on too. For an example, the SPLC, that's the Southern Poverty Law Center chair, made an appearance on Capitol Hill today, and boy, he got grilled. Isn't people, it's the usual suspects were flipping his burger on the grill for sure. Anyway, we'll get to some of that as well here in just a few minutes. But first, let's go ahead and get things kicked off by having Pops McGroin and partner recite the Pledge of Allegiance for us tonight. So if you are of mine, please stand. Remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with Pops as he and his partner recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America.
And I thank you, Pops McGroin, and your partner for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, attach it to an email. Send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. I have 24 of these things. I'd like to have 26 by the end of 2026. So if you haven't done yours, please do so and send it off today. If you use your phone, you can utilize the share option. That's the S-H-A-R-E option. You can utilize the share option and send it also to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I will get you into the rotation as quickly as possible. Well, our headline sponsor for tonight, well, they kind of threw me a curveball. I didn't realize this, but apparently the Institute on the Constitution is no more. That's right. The Institute on the Constitution has now changed officially to The American View. So you can head off to theamericanview.com and check out all of their offerings. Now, as I understand it, the actual content hasn't changed. It's mainly just a name change and a rebranding for the most part. And there will be some other things that come out, but theamericanview.com is where you need to go. Their vision is a nation of effective and influential contributors to American government, society, and culture, prepared by educational resources that are focused on the biblical and transformative heritage of America's founding. Like I said, they've changed. So what happened to the IOTC? Well, basically, the former vice president of the IOTC, Massey Campos, and has agreed to spearhead the organization and the constitutional movement it has inspired for over 30 years. It's now formerly known as the Institute on the Constitution. And Self-Evident Ministries has merged all IOTC operations under the established banner of The American View. So there you go. They've got a rebranding of their course. This is the same great constitutional course, but it's under a brand new cover. So there you go. And all you have to do, you can purchase it if you want, or you can go, you'll see some of this stuff. You can start your journey, your constitutional journey right here. Learning from the Founders, Lesson 1 is free. And you learn at your own pace with their nationally recognized 100% online course. Study the U.S. Constitution in 12 short lessons. 12 short lessons. Plug in your first name, last name, and email address. Press Get Lesson 1 free, and there you go. You are on your way. And you can go and explore some of the live courses with nationally certified instructors. Here's some of them that they have listed in particular. And you can also choose to become an instructor for The American View. They would like it if you would leave a legacy, restore the constitutional republic, and prepare the future by hosting a course in your community. And obviously, they haven't gotten all of the rebranding done yet, but it's getting there. Anyway, you can go and get their instructor kit along with other stuff at their shop. So if you go to theamericanview.com and go into their shop, you can check out all of their all of their items that they have available, the U.S. Constitution course, of course, other educational resources, self-evident apparel, instructor materials, and my personal favorite, right up here in the corner, called the Legacy Library. The Legacy Library is filled with leather items, and my personal favorite is this one right here in my hot little hands, known as the leather-bound U.S. Constitution. Take a look at this thing. It's got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. No cheap glue here, folks. It's stitched all the way through. The pages and the leather containing those pages. G says, Americans viewing the Constitution, note the fine stitching that is there on it. All right. It's got a 100-year warranty against materials and manufacturing defects such that if you have a problem, you can send it back to the manufacturer and they will either fix it or replace it for free. It is buddy tested, buddy approved, Billy tasted, Billy approved. My youngest whiskey warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to achieve your civics badge in Scouts. They will also help you to achieve that civics exam and probably, I'm going to say yes, the naturalization test as well to become a naturalization citizen, naturalized citizen. According to my Whiskey Warrior P1s, it has sexy rounded corners. It's pocket-sized, travels well. You can stick it in your pocket. But what's even better is you can pass it down as a family heirloom. And I suggest that you do that. Head on over to theamericanview.com. Check out their new website, all of their new stuff. And keep checking for new products and courses and all kinds of stuff as they go through this rebranding and revamping of everything. Head on over to theamericanview.com, and I thank The American View for being a sponsor of this show. And I just noticed I'm going to have to update my branding. Yeah, my graphics are going to have to disappear. Anyway, I'll have to get the new logo. See if I can grab that sometime in the near future. All right. Well, I don't know if anybody heard, because I know we've had a lot of stuff happening over the course of the last couple of days, but I don't know if anybody heard the Iranians were able to shoot down a Apache helicopter. Now, this was a couple days ago. It was over the Strait of Hormuz, and they apparently both pilots, it's a pilot and a gunner, but anyway, both pilots were recovered safely and securely. Apparently, I'm hearing reports that they were picked up by a drone, by a naval boat drone, because the drone was closer and was able to get to them faster than the Iranian forces could, and so the drone was tasked to go and pick them up. That's pretty cool. Anyway, after the helicopter got shot down, President Trump earlier today said, "Oh, we're going to launch a retaliatory strike." And at 5 p.m. Eastern time, they went ahead and did that. He had early vowed to retaliate, and hours after he had announced negotiations in Tehran were in their final throes. But anyway, there you go. So the U.S. Central Command said in a statement that its forces began launching self-defense strikes against Iran at 5 p.m. Eastern today at the Commander-in-Chief's direction in response to the downing of the U.S. Army Apache helicopter. The mission is a proportional response to the unjustified Iranian aggression. Now, let's see. The Apache helicopter was shot down around the same time that Iran announced that it had ceased attacks on Israel. Now, if you recall, Iran attacked Israel because of what Israel was doing against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Talking about all these things all together, connecting one another. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Iran's military said in a statement carried by state-affiliated media yesterday, should the aggression and hostile acts continue, including in southern Lebanon, far more severe or crushing measures that will be forthcoming. Yeah. So there you go. Trump told reporters on New York on Tuesday morning. He's up in New York, by the way, for the final NBA matches. Anyway, he goes up there. He goes, if we do the bombing, a lot of people are going to be killed. Who wants to do that? I don't. He's like, we'll have a signed document that's actually stronger than doing the bombing. I just got to point this out. I'm kind of an obvious guy. I mean, if you wanted to go Captain Obvious, you could probably look Captain Obvious up in the dictionary, and there'd be a picture of me. Because of the plain and simple fact that these guys, meaning Iran, have not, the meaning of ceasefire literally means stop firing. I don't know how else you could really put it. And yet here we have a ceasefire that has had nothing but firing going on the entire time of the ceasefire. I know that President Trump doesn't want to be looked at or seen as a warmonger. That ship's already sailed, folks. The left seems to think that he's a warmonger anyway, and the far right doesn't seem to think that he's doing enough. Unfortunately, in this particular instance, I personally believe that he's not doing enough. He's going through and he's kind of like gradually upping the pressure. But the problem is that gradual upping of the pressure has now been removed because he's stopped all the bombing, trying to get them to come to the table and talk. All I got to tell you is this. There's one thing that these people understand. And by these people, I'm talking about the Iranian mullahs and the ayatollahs and all of those, Islamic extremists. They understand only one thing and one thing only. Brutal power. That's it. See, you go over there and you start talking peace, you start talking, oh, well, we're just going to be peaceful. And they respond back with, oh, yeah, we're going to be peaceful. We promise we're going to be peaceful. They're lying. They have one focus. And it's been a focus that's been around for centuries, which is essentially to take over the entire world and make Islam the de facto religion and the de facto political structure. That's it. That's their whole focus. That's their whole goal. They are zealots in that pursuit. And there's only one thing that they understand, and that is clear brutality. Now, I know that this predates this program, but I can tell you that when we were going into Afghanistan and we were talking about going into Afghanistan, the plain and simple fact was the only way to get through to these people is to get rid of their idea of martyrdom. Get rid of their idea of the rivers of honey and 70 celestial virgins and all that stuff. You got to go in and remove their desire to want to be martyrs. You've got to remove their desire for all of this. And it's going to take more than just a generation, which is what we ended up having in Afghanistan. We had 20 years of occupation in Afghanistan. And unfortunately, what happened? Well, as soon as Joe Biden pulled his disastrous withdrawal, the Taliban immediately came back. You need to go. You need to go and eliminate the problem children and re-educate the rest. That's the way it works. And you've got to do it on a level that they are going to understand. They only understand brutality. That's it. That's it. So, I don't know what else to really say. I mean, Donald Trump can sit here and talk about, not to mention the fact, let's be completely clear here. The minute that Donald Trump is out of office, or the minute that the Democrats take over Congress and are able to pass some sort of a legislation that prevents the president, whoever it is, from taking action in Iran or toward Iran at all. The minute that that stuff passes, it's done. It's over with. And what have we done? We've gone in halfway. We haven't finished the job. See, this is part of the problem with having politics and politicians control war. This is one of the reasons why our founding fathers, who started discussing the whole idea of war, changed the phraseology in the Constitution from Congress shall make war to Congress shall declare war. Not a lot of people really comprehend the difference in those words, in that verbology, but I'm just going to tell you, man, that is a huge difference. Anyway, yeah, we need to stop just, pardon the phrase, but pussyfooting around these people. We need to stop that. We need to just go in and remove them. Just remove them. Take them out. Get them gone. And I know we've already done quite a bit, but it's time to finish the job. It's time to go in, finish the job. It is a disgusting, it is a disgusting thing that needs to be done. But just like, when you have a rabid dog or a animal with disease, or an animal, like, unfortunately, an animal that gets into a health situation that you just can't do anything about, and you have no other choice, it's just sometimes you just got to give up the ghost and let them go. Anyway. All right. Let's move on. Apparently, Steve Hilton has gained enough votes now, and Decision Desk HQ projected this yesterday evening, that he will be moving on in the general election. Unfortunately, that's not what happened to Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt is actually, at least for now anyway, until something major is discovered about that, but Spencer Pratt is out of the race. And to be honest with you, I think Karen Bass would have rathered to go face Spencer Pratt than this ramen noodle lady. But anyway. Yeah. So Steve Hilton apparently has picked up 25% of the vote, and Becerra has got 27.6 of the vote, according to this town hall piece as of Monday night. And so, yeah, he is moving on. He's going to face off against Xavier Becerra. And so California has a opportunity to potentially start the process of reversing. Now, I'm not going to tell you this is going to do anything, because let's be honest. If Hilton gets in as governor of the state of California, they still have a deep blue red legislature that's going to cause problems for him across the board. So don't think that this is really going to do anything. It honestly isn't. And I sort of feel bad because, in a way, because Steve Hilton, could have demonstrated that Republicans are so much better than the Democrats in a state where the Democrats have literally turned it into basically a crap hole. But yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, he's going to have a huge, and I'm talking like monumental, higher than Mount Everest kind of mountain to climb to get his way out of whatever kind of trouble. He's going to have to, like, I don't know. I hope he's a really good negotiator and politician, because he's going to get slammed, the door slammed in his face by the leftist legislature down there often. Well, shifting gears into the justice front, Trump has officially nominated Todd Blanche for Attorney General. The White House, of course, made the announcement in a short update posted on its website with regards to it. So it pretty much was the nomination and no other text. Short, sweet, and to the point. Yes, we're nominating Tom Blanche for Attorney General. There you go. And that was pretty much about it. Now, honestly, President Trump already sort of said it, so this is just a mere formality in reality. But yeah. Now, keep in mind, his appointment is still subject to Senate confirmation hearings. And Blanche only requires a support of a simple majority of senators. And as of right now, Republicans currently hold a majority in the chamber by a narrow 53 to 47 margin. So, yeah. I would anticipate that unless there are a few Republican senators who are idiots and rhinos, and believe me, there are a few, they could torpedo this whole thing, which really wouldn't surprise me any, to be honest. So anyway, so we'll have to see. But Senator Chuck Grassley, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, backed his nomination on June 8th in a statement saying that he believed that Blanche is well qualified for the role. He said, "I've worked well with Acting Attorney General Blanche for more than a year and appreciate his commitment to transparency and support for law enforcement. Blanche is well qualified and has shown his dedication to restoring law and order across our country. The Senate Judiciary Committee's work to process Blanche's nomination is underway." So, yeah, keep in mind, two Democrats, little Dickie Durbin out of Illinois, and ranking member, or he is the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And of course, Shifty Schiff, they both oppose the nomination. So Schiff expressed his opinion in a post on X, noting that Blanche's previous role as Trump's defense lawyer caused him to say, "At every turn, Todd Blanche has been unable to set aside his role as Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer and instead represent the American people. The Senate must vigorously oppose his confirmation." So that's the tactic, more than likely, that the left is going to take with this. That's going to be the tactic, is they are going to blame him. And once again, they're going to say, but Trump, anything but Trump. Todd Blanche was an attorney for Trump. But Trump. No, we're going to block Trump. We're going to block that guy. Yeah, okay. Continue. Rinse and repeat. All right. Okay. Let me go one more. So J.D. Vance has taken a step. J.D. Vance has taken a step toward sending Walz and the other guy, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, He has now referred them to the DOJ, basically because he claims that Walz and Keith Ellison failed to act against the mass welfare fraud in their state. So he has referred them to the Justice Department and Todd Blanche to possibly investigate any criminality there. Vance announced the criminal referral in a social media post late yesterday, in which he raised concerns that Walz's administration had also tried to retaliate against the state workers who blew the whistle on welfare fraud scams in Minnesota, estimated by the House Oversight Committee to have cost taxpayers, now this is an official number now, $9 billion. Vance wrote on X, I've referred these allegations to the DOJ's new fraud division for criminal investigation. Minnesota state officials are not above the law, and if they facilitated fraud, lied under oath about what they knew, or harassed and intimidated whistleblowers, they must face justice. So the vice president's actions actually came hours after the Oversight Committee released a bombshell report concluding that Walz and Ellison knew about the widespread taxpayer fraud in the state's welfare programs as early as spring of 2019. And they took, it claims, they took no action and instead let the state retaliate against workers who tried to expose the abuses. Committee chairman, might as well call it what it is, Committee Chairman James Comer told Just the News on Monday evening that he believed lawmakers found evidence of criminality in the years-long cover-up of the fraud. He said, I think that Walz and Ellison should be held accountable. I think they violated the law. I think they're, violated the whistleblower protection laws. Walz and Ellison have, of course, denied any wrongdoing, even as the fraud allegations sunk his re-election bid, Walz's re-election bid anyway. Yeah. So there you go. Comer said that the DOJ could present the evidence his committee gathered to a grand jury, and he says, I'm all for that. I'm being told by an avid watcher of the Carmelo Anthony sentencing that sentencing is about to happen, so I will break in with the announcement here as soon as I get it via text or via the chat. Anyway. 35-year sentence. I don't know what not under passion means. You'd have to explain that to me. But anyway. So, the committee wrote in a final report that Walz and Ellison knew about the fraud in federal programs administered by the state of Minnesota much earlier than they admitted. And then instead of trying to stop the widespread fraud, Governor Walz's administration retaliated against employees who tried to raise concerns, going to great lengths to keep them quiet, including intimidation through regular check-ins with high-level agency officials and threats of military surveillance. It added. Okay, so the sentence is a 35-year sentence, and it was determined that it was not a moment of passion. Well, that makes sense because, I mean, seriously, he was at a high school track meet. What the hell was he carrying a knife for? Anyway, all right, sorry, I digress. We jumped tracks. All right. Let me talk to you about Rumble Premium. So, you've probably noticed, but Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, which is an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content that you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering a $10 off your annual subscription by going to rumble.com/premium. Rumble.com/premium. Using the promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium. Promo code STUDIO, STUDIO, to get that $10 off an annual subscription to Rumble Premium. No ads, more freedom, and content that you actually care about. That's the deal. Go to rumble.com/premium. Use promo code STUDIO to get that $10 off your annual subscription. Rumble.com/premium. Use promo code STUDIO today. All right. Well, the Southern Poverty Law Center chairperson, Brian Fair, ironic last name, showed up to a hearing and, well, let's just say it didn't go very well for him. I've got some video here, and, well, let's just take a listen here for a couple of things. And, yeah, let's just start with this.
You'll explain to me targeting like Turning Point USA, the Family Research Council, traditional Catholic groups as hate groups, but not groups like Antifa, Jane's Revenge, Youth Liberation Front?
We list groups that demonize or vilify people based on immutable characteristics or that express anti-government conspiracy theories.
Do you believe that Antifa and Jane's Revenge and Youth Liberation Front have committed violent acts?
Congressman McClintock, it's my understanding that the FBI has said Antifa is an ideology, not a group. So a group, if it's not a group, it wouldn't be identified on our list.
So you don't recognize it as a group?
I'm sorry?
You don't recognize it as a group?
Mr. Chairman, the time's up here.
The gentleman has expired.
Yeah. So again, they're going with the BS. They're going with the BS that Antifa is not a group. Yeah, sure. Well, Chip Roy, who I kind of like, I know he's not going to be hanging out, but one of my guys, I think. So, yeah, he decided to talk about in specifics TPUSA, and well, let's just listen to this answer.
Mr. Roy?
Was it immediate?
We were clear and loud about our criticism of the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th.
My research shows that it took you at least 3 weeks to finally say anything, and then you attacked and criticized Israel.
Mr. Roy.
Do you think the record reflects that, or am I incorrect?
Mr. Roy, as I said, the SPLC has a 55-year history of fighting anti-Semitism. It speaks for itself.
And yet the response to the targeting the Family Research Council was to defend yourself for having focused on the family, and then you pulled down from the website that defense. It was your only defense.
Well, first, Mr. Roy, speakers in the United States don't need to defend their speech. We have free speech. And so everyone should understand that.
Yeah, you do here on the record have to defend the position of an organization that has now been indicted and has superseding indictment based on very clear indications of the way the money is flowing in order to target very specific groups and to potentially defraud your donors, not to mention, by the way, banks. If I had a little more time, I'd like to have a little bit more conversation about debanking and your engagement with banking. But the last question I'll ask you is, with respect to Charlie Kirk? Have you all taken any position since Charlie Kirk?
Mr. Roy, we unequivocally condemned the murder of Charlie Kirk.
What about the listing of Charlie Kirk?
It is our position that TPUSA expresses views and vilifies other people based on immutable characteristics, exposing them to our listing.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of unanimous consent requests.
Objection.
I have several documents here. November 2025 Hate Watch from the Southern Property Law Center, in which hearing or the work that I've done on Sharia law was included in Hate Watch without objection. Another one here, anti-Muslim bigotry, in which work we did in this very room in the subcommittee on the Constitution highlighting concerns with Sharia law were included in the hate.
Yeah, so TPUSA, apparently, according to these guys, TPUSA was talking about immutable characteristics. I don't understand that. I really don't. Because just about every single TPUSA, and especially just about every single Charlie Kirk video clip that I've seen, not once did he condemn anybody with immutable characteristics. What is this guy thinking are immutable characteristics? How is that possible? Because, I mean, let's be honest. An immutable characteristic is something that somebody has no control over. Like hair color, skin color, eye color, so on and so forth. Immutable characteristic is what that means. So, anyway, I don't know. It just seems a little weird. Well, Chip Roy wasn't the only one. Here's another star. Yeah, here's another star. I got to tell you, this guy, he's young enough, man. He is going to be a Spitfire and a star in Congress. He's got a long political career if he stays this way. I'm just saying. Representative Brandon Gill. Representative Brandon Gill decided to, go a little scorched earth. I'll just be honest with you. And and unfortunately, Brandon Gill, because of his tactics and things that he uses, he attracts attention from none other than Jamie Raskin on this. But let's go ahead and take a listen to this particular exchange.
A little bit. Your organization said that restricting and banning abortion is a tool of the far right uses to maintain white supremacy. Do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I believe that reproductive liberty is...
No, do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I will tell you what I believe if you're asking.
Yes or no?
I can't answer that question, yes or no.
I don't think that pro-lifers are white supremacists. Do you?
What I think is that reproductive liberty is a right that every woman should enjoy.
How many babies in the United States that are aborted are black? About 40% of abortions nationwide are of black babies. Blacks represent about 13% of the population. Does that sound like something a white supremacist would oppose?
What I would say again is that SPLC supports reproductive liberty.
Calling somebody a white supremacist is a pretty serious charge, isn't it? I would think you would be able to defend that if your organization says that. You clearly seem unable to.
Mr. Gill, I'm not sure why you would think I'm unable to do anything.
Because you're the president of the SPLC, which labels pro-lifers as racists.
Well,
Does your organization just hurl around epithets like that without any justification?
Mr. Gill, what we do is
I'm giving you the opportunity to
You're not giving me the
Mr. Chairman, what's he referring to? And can he let the witness answer the question? This is outrageous.
No, it's not. The time
Allow him to
belongs.
speak.
I know you don't like
What
my
are you
question.
referring to?
Time
I know you don't
belongs.
like my question.
What are you referring to,
Time
Mr. Gill?
belongs to the gentleman from
My time
Texas.
here.
It's now expired, but he will be able to ask his last question, and we'll give the witness a chance to respond.
All right, I'll give my last question to Dr. King. Dr. King, are pro-lifers white supremacists?
Oh, before we get going with this, I just got to tell you, this is this is masterful. Just trust me, okay? And I got to ask. I mean, where did this guy come off? He's the chairman of an organization that utilizes the terminology that pro-lifers, meaning people who want to save babies, are white supremacists. And he can't explain why they label them as white supremacists, especially considering the fact that, again, I don't know if Brandon Gill's numbers are correct, but I would anticipate that they probably are, that 40% of the babies that are aborted, now keep in mind, 98% of abortions, 98% of abortions are elective. Only 2%, according to statistics that have been taken over many years, only 2% are due to some sort of medical emergency, rape, or incest. Okay? 98% are elective, meaning that somebody has gone in and said, yeah, being pregnant is inconvenient. I want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of the baby. So for him to say, for Gill to basically say, hey, 40% of the babies that are aborted are black babies. Do you honestly believe that a white supremacist who is advocating to bring these babies to term and bring these babies into the world because of the fact that a life is worth defending and is worth allowing to come to fruition and carry itself further into this world and see what its value becomes in the future? And that's white supremacy. This is why this idiot, the SPLC chair, got stuck, because Brandon Gill, a master class, I got to tell you, this guy is extremely smart. So now he's asking a woman who is basically, I'm going to say, the de facto person who could speak on racism from a perspective, because of the fact that she is related to, of course, the left's and pretty much America's greatest adversary against against racism, which is the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And here is her answer to Brandon Gill's question.
Lifers cannot be white supremacists. Pro-lifers believe in life from the womb to the tomb and beyond. Pro-lifers fight for every baby in the womb, regardless of skin color. We have been aborted as blacks in America disproportionately. And so the white supremacists are Planned Parenthood, who admitted that they do have racist underpinning with an agenda to reduce the black population by abortion.
That's right. Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you.
And there you have it. So how is it that the Southern Poverty Law Center is going to sit there and say, oh, no, pro-lifers are white supremacists, when it's actually Planned Parenthood? You see, I seriously see a correlation. And I think everybody else sees a correlation too. For those of you who sit here and believe in the myth that the parties switched, that the Republican Party became the racists and sorry, I got distracted by the chat there. That the Republican Party are the racists and the Democrats are not. I just simply point to things like this. Planned Parenthood was a leftist organization. They believed in eugenics. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, specifically put Planned Parenthood locations in poor black neighborhoods because her goal was to get rid of the blacks of America. That was her stated goal. She believed in eugenics. She believed in getting rid of all of the blacks in America. And so that's what they did, is they started creating, and I'll be honest with you, masterfully, gave the impression that, hey, we're going to help you out by getting rid of your babies. And that's what they did. Anyway, Brandon Gill's not done, by the way. Yeah, he was talking about, I'm sorry, this other clip actually covers the same thing that we've already heard with regards to the SPLC saying that restricting and banning abortion is a tool that the far right uses to maintain white supremacy, which we've already heard. So, yeah, there you go. Now, Representative Gill also asked the SPLC about none other than the candidate for the Maine Senate, Graham Plattner, and his tattoo. Let's see how well that went for them.
I don't know anybody who has a Nazi tattoo on their chest, but is not a Nazi. Do you?
No.
Do you think that somebody who has a Nazi tattoo on their chest should serve in the United States Senate?
I wouldn't vote for that person.
I certainly wouldn't either. Do you think that this should disqualify him politically from serving in the Senate?
Again, I'm not sure where the line of questions is going. The SPLC, if you're asking me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If you're asking me if the SPLC opposes Nazis and Nazi symbols, the answer is yes.
Yep. The SPLC is referred to this same tattoo as a racist skinhead symbol and tattoo. You can see the resemblance there. You wouldn't want somebody with a tattoo like that in the Senate?
No.
No, I wouldn't either.
Now, I got to be honest with you, that line of questioning was sort of, let's be honest, kind of irrelevant, but it was definitely a shot across the bow for Plattner, which, by the way, Plattner, at least according to all the, what do they call them? Not the, he's expected to, of course, win the Democratic nomination in Maine. Although it would be really great if the alternate candidate who said she was suspending her campaign would actually come out and win. That's going on right now, by the way. Polls closed roughly 52 minutes ago over there in Maine. So let's see if Maine can actually get their primary counted before California does. I guarantee you it'll happen. But anyway. Seemed a little bit of an odd kind of questioning, but yeah, it sort of goes toward the SPLC's position in terms of that. So, yeah. Well, yeah, thanks. My unofficial producer pointed out Polymarket, betting sites, Kalshi, those kinds of folks. Well, it isn't just Brandon Gill. Now, look, you can say what you want about Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan has some baggage that he has carried. I will admit that. But that being said, the guy is very intelligent and very, shall we say, clever in all of this. And so, well, let's just take a listen to some of Jim Jordan's questioning for this guy.
Mr. Fair, did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor money to have field sources attend extremist rallies across the country?
Mr. Chairman,
Simple question. Did you use your donor money for that purpose?
we used donor money,
Yes or no?
paid confidential informants to infiltrate extremist organizations.
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources host extremist rallies throughout the country?
Not to my knowledge.
What the indictment says. Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources grow existing chapters of extremist groups?
Mr. Chairman, as I
It's
said
a simple
earlier,
question, Mr. Fair. Did you use donor money for the purpose I just read? I'm reading straight from the superseding indictment.
and Mr. Chairman, the indictment will be managed and responded to by counsel in the criminal case that's
Well, you just
pending.
answered a question from Mr. Raskin concerning the indictment. He asked you, did field sources send information to the FBI that help with things? You answered that question.
That's a matter of public knowledge.
That's in our
Mr. Chairman.
public filing.
Did the Southern Poverty
Chairman.
Law Center use donor money to have field sources create new chapters of extremist groups?
Again, Mr. Chairman,
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor money to recruit new individuals into those extremist groups?
I assume you don't want me to answer since you're not giving me time to answer.
No, I'm giving you time to answer because that's a yes or did you use your donors' money for that purpose? Yes or no?
Again, those issues will be resolved in the pending allegations against the SPLC.
It seems to me if the answer is no, you could say no.
We have asserted that the allegations are false.
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor money to have field sources make donations to extremist group leaders and purchase materials for cross burnings? Alleged in the indictment. Did it happen?
We've alleged that those allegations are false.
Did Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources create racist paraphernalia that extremist groups sold at rallies?
We've alleged that those allegations are false.
Okay, how about this?
All right. Well, so that continues. Yeah. This guy, I got to tell you, this guy's probably not the sharpest knife in the drawer at all. Well, they made a claim that made a lot of people kind of go, what? Let's take a listen to that.
But now you're stopping it.
We stopped the program because we believe hate and extremism has migrated significantly online and into government agencies.
Wow, that's big. That makes no sense. The chair now recognizes.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. He is making the claim that the SPLC is, that hate and extremists have been infiltrating the government. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway. Well, we'll have to see what's going to go on with that, all of this. All right. In the final moments, there was a new poll that was released. And I just have one question after this poll. Let me explain what the poll was. The poll was released by Elon University and YouGov, and it basically vetted out the fact that 55% of Democrats who answered this poll, and this is a poll of about 1,000 people, 55% of the Democrats answered that yes, if there is another country that they would rather live there than in the United States. So I just have one simple question, Democrats. Why the hell are you still here? If you hate this country so much that you would want to live somewhere else, rather than waste all of your time trying to change this country into something that you believe can be lived in, why don't you just go elsewhere? Just go. Now, that's in contrast to 38% of independents answered that question in the affirmative. Yes, they would rather live somewhere else. And only 10% of Republicans. And they were the only partisan group, according to the results of a Gallup poll back in September of 2025. Democrats were the only partisan group that favored socialism more favorably than capitalism. Now, if you want proof of indoctrination, there it is. There it is. Alrighty, folks. That is the end of tonight's program. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, have sign up for free, and once you are signed in, search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time that I go live. Also, too, don't forget, before you go on your way out, hit me the thumbs up, a thumbs down, or in the case of 3 Chevy, thumb sideways or at an angle, across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, or, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for Whiskey Wednesday. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.